The Victoria and Stuart Project, end-of-life care planning with people with learning disabilities. How can we support people to make their own choices at the end of life? A study inspired by people like Stuart and Victoria.
"26 different professionals were involved from 15 disciplines. Together, we made it easy."
The lead physician for learning disabilities was instrumental in Stuart being discharged. She understood he hated being in hospital and involved the right people to get him home.
We had a multi-professional group email and WhatsApp group for 24-hour support.
His visits from professionals were spaced out so that he didn't feel overwhelmed. He decided who should visit and when.
Whenever the nurses visited Stuart, they always made sure we were okay. They even called on their day off sometimes.
Stuart's carers were trained in person-centred care, so they knew each other well and helped him update his own PCP.
Even in the pandemic, Stuart was able to spend time with his family every day, either through COVID-secure visits or online.
Stuart has been planning his end-of-life care for 2 years. He even told us the horses had to be white, not black. We made sure every detail of his plan was followed.
Stuart had a very challenging behaviour, and because of how and what the Eden Vale did for him, we were able to spend the last precious weeks of his life as a family. These times we would never have had without them. He himself told me that he was so happy they were there for him. To see him comfortable, relaxed and happy with them meant everything. They were even there for us.
Thank you very, very much. Oh, you know, he will help me.
Victoria and Lisa were both young women in their early 20s. We both had profound learning disabilities and a variety of physical disabilities, including very complex health needs. And they lived together in a purpose-built bungalow. They had their own team of workers and they lived safely and happily together for many, many years. We knew that Victoria was going to die because her renal consultant told us her kidneys were failing. And dialysis and transplant was not an option. Throughout her life, although she was a woman without words, she knew what she wanted from life. It was up to us to interpret and then give her what she wanted. We decided, her family and her circle of friends decided, that she would die over a period of time. That was a huge decision for us to make. I think we were recognising that slowly her life was being more restricted. So Victoria loved to be out and about in her wheelchair outside, but then she got too frail to put her in her wheelchair. So most of her life shrunk. It shrunk from outside to inside, to the living room and then to her bedroom over a period of time. So we had to be inventive and think about, well, the world's got to come to her. You know, we sat and we talked a lot as the staff team and particularly the team leader. I focused on the team leader because she would influence the rest of her team. And we're talking about a team of 15 people. Quite a lot of people. And then there was all the other fringe people like the GP and the palliative nurse and various other and district nurses coming in. So they all had to be made aware of what our plans were and to actually sign up and sort of promise to follow the plan. I think if there's family and they're aware of all this like we were, they should be guided by the family, but they should join together to actually make it happen. An acute care plan will enable that to happen because you go through all the stages. And that was the beauty of having that very detailed end of acute care plan, because we'd gone through it, we'd talked about it as a staff group. We talked about, she will not go to hospital and what you would do to prevent her going to hospital.
Victoria died at home with her family by her side.
With fairy lights, with people who love me, and to beautiful music. So I always think, as well as she could, Victoria lived happily, but she actually died majestically, I've been struggling for a word, and it is majestically. And wouldn't you want to wish that for your nearest and dearest? And, that was... And I think if you have a good death, the pain of it, for the ones that you leave, really helps. I mean, we had to work hard for it, and I want it for other people.
How can we make end-of-life care planning work for other people with learning disabilities? We will work together with people with learning disabilities, families, services and academics. This 2-year study starts in April 2022.